Is there anything else you can do that will help me in the castle?
I'm afraid not, Prince Alex. One will get past the guard dogs easier than two. Besides, I'm not much of a fighter. But if you intend to do as you've said, you should lose no time about it. The wedding will be starting before you know it.
Snap, crackle, pop.
Please stop, Prince Alex. I'm really ticklish.
Alexander respects Jell-O's privacy and leaves his desk alone. Jell-O needs that chair more than Alexander does. Alexander isn't in need of a candelabra. The circus notice belongs to Jell-O. And burn a perfectly good hand? Alexander couldn't possibly carry that heavy rug with him. Besides, Jell-O might miss it. Alexander doesn't want to intrude on Jell-O's privacy by looking through his trunk. Alexander can't reach the chandelier. This is not the time for napping.
Could you make use of this key, Jell-O?
No thanks, Prince Alex. I can get pretty much anywhere in the castle that I need to as it is. It might serve you better.
Jell-O is not in a position to do anything about the Wazir's treachery. Reading the letter would just make him more upset.
I've been thinking of what you said about swapping a replica for the genie's lamp. I got this lamp from the old lamp seller in town. Do you think it will pass?
Why, yes! It's an exact replica. That's amazing. How did you guess?
I suppose it was intuition.
I'll have to wait for the right moment, mind you. But I should be able to get close enough to swap this for the real thing, and none shall be the wiser. Now you shall see Jell-O's skill.
I'm sure your hands are mightier than my sword, my clever friend.
Go ahead and do as you've planned, and let me worry about swapping the lamp. If I accomplish the trickery, I'll manage to get the lamp to you somehow. You never fear.
I have faith, Jell-O. You are a true friend.
Oh, shucks. I'd do anything for the princess.
Uh-oh, guard dogs.
An intruder! Grab him!
I was just looking for the kitchen.
I'll bet you're the foreign saboteur the Wazir warned us about. He sure fits the description. He's supposed to be dangerous, mate. Let's throw him in a dungeon, then go tell Captain Saladin.
Right, good idea. I think someone must have let our prisoner loose, Ralph.
Who would be crazy enough to do that, Hal?
I don't know, but if I find out, that traitor will be sorry. Let's keep an extra sharp eye in the halls. We'll make sure no one can get near him again.
Right, Hal.
The guard dogs slam the door and lock it. Alexander has a feeling there will be no help from Jell-O this time. The dungeon door is locked. That torch can't help Alexander escape. Starting a fire in the cell would only hasten Alexander's demise.
Hello? Is anyone there? Could someone let me out?
Either there's no one on the other side of the door, or if there is, they aren't moved by Alexander's pleas. Alexander unlocks the door with his skeleton key and quickly makes his escape. Alexander doesn't see any way of opening that door manually. Alexander doesn't see any keyhole on that door. Since the door on the west wall has no visible knob or handle, Alexander decides to try to open it with his voice. He composes his words carefully.
Listen, door. I would have you open. Ali Zebu.
It worked. Alexander is standing in the Castle of the Crown's treasure room. The soft-toned room seems very secure. Along the walls are trunks and caskets, probably full of the kingdom's treasure. In the middle of the room is a low table. Those trunks probably contain the kingdom's treasure, once guarded so well and used so wisely by King Caliphim, now in the hands of that blackguard Alhazred. Graceful urns adorn the cool treasure room. Decorative shields and spears made of gold hang on the treasure room walls. A gracefully curled trumpet hangs on the wall. The domed ceiling has a skylight set into it that allows beams of sunlight to enter the room. Alexander has no wish to steal from the treasury of the land of the Green Isles. It might be under the Wazir's control now, but it still belongs to the people. Alexander doesn't need the urns. Alexander doesn't need the gold shield and spears. Besides, the soft gold wouldn't stand up well in a real battle. Alas, the trumpet won't bring these walls tumbling down, and thus is of little use to Alexander. Alexander can't reach the skylight. A small table graces the middle of the room. The table is covered by a velvet drapery. The initials AA are embroidered on the drapery.
AA. That must stand for Abdul Al-Hazred.
Alexander pulls the drapery aside, curious as to what might lie underneath. The velvet drapery has been pulled back, exposing the table's items. The initials AA are embroidered on the drapery. On the table are 4 unusual items. On the table is a strange-looking stone that's giving off an odd, high-pitched noise.
That must be the Isle of Wonders singing stone. Didn't the queens think that the beast had stolen it?
On the table is a coat of arms with the head of a beast on the crest.
Beast said that his coat of arms was stolen by the Druids. This must be it.
On the table is a miniature oak tree. It looks very old.
That must be the sacred miniature oak that the Druids thought the Winged Ones stole.
On the table is a fleece made of gold.
That fleece must belong to the Winged Ones, and they thought the Isle of Wonder had taken it.
As Alexander looks at the objects on the table, he realizes the depth of the Wazir's cunning. It must have been the Wazir or an accomplice who stole that one thing most precious to each island, and then leaked rumors that one of the other islands was responsible.
What did the Wazir have to gain by causing the islands to hate one another?
The treasures on the table do not reply. The singing stone only continues to hum and does not respond to Alexander. Alexander decides to leave the golden fleece here in the treasure room for safekeeping until it can be returned to the winged ones.